What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TTG Radio. My name is Danny, and I will be your solo podcast host today. We are going to do a Pinterest recipe review. Y'all know I like to talk about the context surrounding nutrition and fad diets and health claims so that you have the better tools to pick and choose what food items and beverages will best work for you during a particular phase of life. So, I put in the search bar in Pinterest this morning protein snacks, and the first thing that popped up was a chocolate peanut butter protein bar. And I wanted to dive into that really quickly so that y'all will start to read ingredient lists for different protein focused bars or snacks out there and just put a little more context behind it. So, this particular recipe is from Chocolate Covered Katie. So chocolatecoveredkatie.com/protein-bars-recipe/. This recipe looks fantastic. I have not tried it, though it is now on my to-do list to make it, but let's talk about it first. This recipe is listed as a protein bar recipe, and it's a very simple ingredient list. So I love that. Of course, when you're making something at home and you are using whole food ingredients and you have control over the ingredients, there's going to be less processed food, less preservatives, less stuff in your food that is, quote unquote, edible material versus actual food. So love that to begin with. Anything that you're going to bake or make at home, I think is a great option if you have the time and the ability to do so. The ingredients here: 1.5 cups of peanut butter or an allergy-friendly substitute. And if this is me, I want you to, or a recommendation that I'm making, choose a peanut butter or some kind of nut butter where the only ingredient is that nut. Okay. We don't need extra added sugar. I would try not to get extra added sodium. There are some fun things out there that might give you different flavors. Maybe they have cinnamon or something else added to it. Maybe they have a little bit of protein powder to it. Cool. You do you, get which one you want, but try to find one that doesn't have extra added preservatives in there. Like, your peanut butter should be made of peanuts. You know what I'm saying? Okay, moving on. Next ingredient: 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened protein powder of choice. This is going to be approximately 90 grams in weight is what you're looking for here. When I put this recipe into MyFitnessPal, I chose a Quest protein powder. I've baked with that protein powder before. I do like it. It's not the only one out there that you can use. I would recommend using either a whey protein powder or maybe collagen peptides. Just know that depending on the brand, your macros, so your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, may look a little different, and your texture may be a little bit different. But I would definitely go for whey over casein, although I don't think these are a baked protein bar. I think these are kind of mixed and put in the fridge or freezer. So shouldn't be an issue here. But again, choose your brand wisely, because depending on the brand, you might get 20 grams of protein in a scoop, which is roughly like 28 or 30 grams in weight, or you might get 30. So it may very much change your macros per bar at the end of the day, depending on which type of protein powder you have. So 90 grams, approximately 3 scoops, 28 grams roughly in each scoop. Next ingredient: 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup, honey, or agave. I put maple syrup into MyFitnessPal, but again, choose one that you have at the house or whatnot. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 4 ounces of melted chocolate chips. She says these are optional. I did put these into my recipe, and I used the Lily's brand of chocolate chips because Lily's are sweetened with stevia, not sugar. So I really like those. Now, it is said in this recipe that the yield is 10 to 16 bars. The recipe that I put into MyFitnessPal with these ingredients, I put that it yields 10 bars. If you do 10 bars versus 16 bars, it is going to change the amount of your macronutrients per bar. So please keep that in mind. So this is posted as a protein bar. And my question to you is it truly a protein bar? Is that the major macronutrient in these bars? I want you to think about it for a second. And this happens all the time. In fact, I have this conversation with clients all the time when it comes to ingredients and their thoughts about certain ingredients. When it comes to nuts or seeds, nut butters, seed butters, things like that, yes, they are a good, even a great source of protein, but that doesn't mean they are a high source of protein. They have way more fat grams and fat calories than they do protein calories. So I want you to keep this in mind. Keep it in the forefront of your mind. If your main ingredient here is peanut butter, then yes, there will be protein in this food item, but you're likely to have more fat than you are protein. So even though there's 3 scoops of protein powder, that's not going to give you more protein than fats. Now, how do you figure that out? Well, you put it into an app like MyFitnessPal, you create the recipe, and it's going to tell you what your macronutrients are. I've already done this math, so I am going to read this off to you. So per bar, remember 10 bars, 312 calories per bar. For some of you, that might be a full meal. For some of you, that might be a snack. So you have to decide what that is for you. In each of these bars, you're getting 17 grams of protein, which is fantastic for a protein bar. I mean, most protein bars are going to be somewhere between maybe 15 and 30 grams of protein. So 17 is great. It's got 22 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fiber or fibrous carbs within those 22. But then your fats are 22 grams of fat. So 17 grams of protein, 22 grams of fat. And you may be thinking, well, that's not too bad of a difference. It's about 5 grams difference. But if we run the math, and no, I cannot do this without a calculator. Remember, fats are worth 9 calories per gram. So if we take that 22 and we multiply it by 9, that is going to give us, hang on, calculator right here, 22 by 9. So 198 calories in this bar are coming from fat. Now, 17 grams of protein, 1 gram of protein is worth 4 calories. So we do 17 times 4. 68 calories are coming from protein. The rest are coming from carbs. So out of 21? Out of 312 calories in this bar, 198 of them are coming from fats. Only 68 are coming from protein. And then 22 times 4, what is that? 890, around 90, 88 or 90 calories are coming from carbs. So when you really look at the breakdown, even though this has a great amount of protein, maybe like considering your entire day, that might be a significant amount of protein for you. The highest macronutrient in this bar is fats. That is followed by carbohydrates and then protein. So you've got the most calories coming from fats, a moderate amount of calories coming from carbs, and the least amount of calories coming from protein when you look at your 3 major macronutrients. Again, that doesn't mean that this bar doesn't have lots of healthy, nutritious aspects to it. But just know, if you are watching more than just your protein intake, this does have more fat than it does protein. If you're looking for a Reese's peanut butter cup alternative, this is probably an awesome, not probably, I think this is an awesome alternative. If you are looking for a dessert that is slightly healthier than one that's chocked full of sugar, maple syrup has a lot of sugar in it, but it is a more organic, natural option. Same thing with honey, same thing with agave. So instead of adding sugar to something, this is going to be probably a better alternative for you. And then, of course, you can use any kind of chocolate chips that you want. I chose the Lily's Sweetened with stevia brand. Love those. There's some other really great monk fruit options or other organic options. If you change the brand of chocolate chips, just know that's going to change your macros a little bit and it might give you some added sugar. So that is my analysis of this recipe. So I would definitely check this recipe out. Again, it's chocolatecoveredkatie.com. She has a ton of stuff. I don't know that I've made anything from hers before, but I definitely intend to make these protein bars. So they do look really good. I do think they will be a delicious, delectable delight for when you're in the mood for a little bit of chocolate and peanut butter. So try them out. Let me know what you think. And let me know if this changes your approach to looking at snacks or fun things on Pinterest that are listed as a protein-centered food item. So that's a wrap for today. I do want to give a big just shout out and thank you to everyone who signed up for our digital nutrition course as a beta tester. I'm so excited. It's going to take the next 8 or 9 weeks to go through all of the lessons and get feedback from everyone. And then we will relaunch it to the public in January when we've got all of the kinks out and made sure it is the best it can be. So stay tuned if you want to make sure that you get updates on that. Make sure you're on our email list so you can go to ttgnwla.com and the pop-up there will get you onto our email list. We send out a weekly email with just behind the scenes information, what's going on at the gym. And then we also send out a weekly recipe. So if you want that weekly recipe, then make sure you're signed up for our email list. That is all for now. We will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.